approximately a 4 cm dough and 0.5 cm thick. So this will be the head of your animals. So let's do it with the other doughs also. Like what I'm doing, right? If let's say if your hand is not pressing them evenly when you put them on the baking paper, right, you can continue to press them flatter. Yep. So these are our small little heads of our cookie characters. Next, for each of the colors, right, we'll make the body. So we'll take a 7-gram dough each. Okay, so same thing. We'll do the same round shape, but just that this time it will be smaller. It will be around like 2.5 to 3 cm thick. 2.5 to 3 cm wide. Then it's the same 0.5 cm thick. Okay, so I'll just put it at the side first. Later I'll teach you how to stick them together. Okay, so here are our heads and our body. So right now, right, in order to stick the body to the head, right, we will make use of egg white. So you take the one of the round body Then at the tip, right, which is the part that you're going to connect. Okay, so when you connect it, it will look something like this. So the part that I need to stick the egg white on will be this particular part on the body itself. So I'll take my chopstick and dip some egg white, then I'll brush it over here. Try not to brush too much, because if not, when you bake it, right, you will see that there is actually there will actually be some spots. But if you brush it too little, right, it might fall apart when you bake it. So try to gauge a suitable amount. Then once you stick it, right, you can press both together, like press it more together, something like this. Okay. So I'll continue to do it for the rest of the other cookies also.
One hour. Okay.
Okay, done. So now you have your body and your head. Body and your head, sorry. Yeah. So next, right, let's focus on the bear first, which I will be doing for the blue color dough and the pink color dough. We'll make the ear for each of them. So for the ear, right, it will be 1 gram each. So for example, for the pink color one, you need to have 2 1-gram dough. Likewise for the blue color one. Okay, usually when I'm making it, I don't really measure it on because sometimes when you shape it long enough, you know that okay, the ear have to be roughly around this size. But if for a start, it's good to measure them so that you can at least get the same size. So these are the 2 round ears for the pink color bear and the 2 round ears for the blue color bear. So same thing, you have to make them into round. So because this dough is a bit smaller, right, I'll use my fingers instead of the palm to make them into a smoother one.
Yeah, one of the participants asked, so just to confirm, head and body is both 10 grams each? Or...
No, for the head, right, it's 10 gram. For the body, it's 7 gram.
Okay.
So you see, my body is actually smaller. It's like I would think for cute cookies, right, the smaller bodies looks cuter. But of course, if you like it, right, you can actually make them the same size. But I prefer a smaller body lah. Okay, so now my ears are ready. So remember just now we actually used the egg white to stick them together. So same thing for the ears. But because for the ears, right, it's actually smaller. Like you won't know where to brush the egg white. So I will actually brush it on the top of the head. So like for example, over this part and this part, so that when it stick, right, it will be like something like this. Okay, usually when I stick it, right, I like to press together with the main body, so that at least all of them are on the same level. Then it will be easier for you to bake also. If not when you have some thicker and some thinner, right, it might take different time to bake. Okay, so here's my bear. Next, I will focus on the cat. So for the cat, right, it's the same thing. We'll take a 1 gram dough each for the green one and the yellow one. But this time it won't be a round shape. Okay, so once you have a 1 gram dough, same thing, let's make it smooth first. Okay, so once you have the round, right, with your 4 fingers, which is these two, take a piece of round one, using your two pointer, press it down to make it a triangle. So it'll be something like this. You can also use 3. So you have a triangle shape here. Again, so with this, press it down, make a triangle. Yeah, so these are your ears. So we'll stick it to the head also. So for this, right, I will actually brush the egg white over there. Actually, it doesn't matter whether you're brushing on the smaller part or the bigger part, as long as you're able to stick them together, it's okay. So usually I will find the easier one to stick. For example, if there's a flat surface or if it's a bigger surface, I will use it to stick over it. Somebody say your scale cannot weigh 1 gram. It's okay. You can actually try to take just a like small piece will do. I know some of the scales are like much bigger one. It's actually okay one. Or you can actually measure a 2 gram one, then you divide them into two, or what is the smallest scale on your what is the smallest weight on your scale? Okay, yeah. So that's it. Now let's go to I would think is one of the more difficult one, which is the year of the rabbit. So for the year of the rabbit, unlike the other one, we will actually take more dough because it's longer. So for the year, right, we are actually making one of the side bending down, so it will be slightly bigger. So it will be 2 gram dough and a 1.5 gram dough. But not to worry, if your scale can't measure 1.5, right, you can actually take a 1 gram one, then add a little bit more. That will do. Like mine, because mine I can't measure 1.5 actually. So like this is a 1 gram dough, then I'll just add a little bit more. So 1.5 gram dough and a 2 gram dough. So for this, right, same thing. Let's make it smooth first. Okay, so as you can see that there is actually slight difference. This is a smaller one, this is the bigger one. So let's take the smaller one. let's roll it out into a longitudinal shape first, which is something like this. Then at one of the tip, we'll roll it slightly smaller. So that's where it became, it will be a big one and towards a smaller one. So same thing for the other one. Into a longitudinal shape first. Then roll it slightly smaller towards. Okay, for this one, right, because we are making the bending here, so I'll make maybe like half of it to be slightly smaller and longer also. So it will be something like this. So if you compare these two, you'll see that there's actually a difference. So after that, when you bend this down, right, it will be around the same way. Okay. So for the ears, right, because if actually you'll notice, right, these are actually very small surface. So if you stick it directly, right, most probably it will actually fall out during your bake. So what I will do, right, okay, maybe let me take down. What I will do, right, on the head of it, I will actually indent a small hole, something like this. That is where your ears can actually sit in. There will be more surface area for them to stick together. Okay. So let's put some egg whitewash inside. If you're doing it at home, of course, try not to take it out like this. If not, the body might break out. So what I'll do, I'll stick it inside. Okay, to help you, right, you can take your toothpick and try to push them in so that you can stick it. Okay, so right, next, let's make the inner ear of all these animals with your other chopstick, not the one that is used to take the egg white, because if not, it will stick onto the dough. For the bear one, right, let's indent one in the middle, something like this. Same for the other side. Then for the cat, same thing, but let's make it slightly triangular. So I'll use my so you'll see that there is some dent below. For the rabbit, right, it will be along the long shape also. So like for this, it will be like this. The other side. Okay. So let's take the white color dough. Okay, for this, right, I won't measure it because it's actually quite small. So we'll take a small piece of dough, something around like this. Something around the size of maybe, let's say, slightly smaller than a green bean, I would say. So these are the round ones that will go into the ear of the bears. Once you're done, put some egg whites into the dent. Then just simply put them in and press it down. For the cats, it will be the same thing. Just take a small piece of dough. With one dough, press it down your fingers to make it slightly round. Then make it into a triangle shape. Again, press it down. Keep the side so there is a triangle shape. And once you're done, same thing, brush some egg whites and put it in. Okay, if you think that all these are a bit small to take out, you can actually use the help of your toothpick to pick them out, which later you will actually see them. Okay, so for the rabbit, right, I will use a different color, but you can use white. It's also okay. So same thing. I'll take a small little piece of dough. Yeah. Then remember just now how we did the ear. So roll it into a long shape, then slightly smaller at the bottom. Roll it into a long shape, slightly smaller at the bottom. Okay, so remember just now we were saying that one of the ear will be a bending ear. So what you can do, right? Okay, our ear will be bending something over this part. So you will have to brush your egg white over here. So put some egg white. Use your toothpick. Press it down. And fold it over. There you have your ears. Okay, so next, right, let's make the center, the mouth of all these animals. So what you need to do, right, you need to make use of the little piece of baking paper that you prepared earlier. Then take a small piece of white color dough. Put it into the center of the piece of paper. Use your rolling pin to roll it flat. If you don't have a rolling pin, you can actually use your hand to flatten. But it will be slightly uneven. So I prefer using the rolling pin. Okay, so the thickness of this, right, should be very thin. So it will be around like 0.1 mm, I would say, 1 to 2 mm. If you have a slightly thicker one, right, it will take slightly long to cook. So once you have a very flat one, so open one side. Then make sure it doesn't stay on the other side also. So some of it actually stays, it's okay. So you will have something like this. Then with your bubble tea straw, I will make the round shape for the mouth. So there'll be 5 round shapes. So these are my 5. Then what we will do is we will stick them slightly bottom of the mouth, so around here. So it will be like this. Next, we'll do the same thing, but it will be for the body. So like for example, for bears, right, it will be a round white color, circular on the body. For the cats, it will be a triangular shape. Then for the rabbit, it will be a rectangular shape. I'll teach you how to make all of them. Okay, so same thing, put between the baking paper. Okay, this time we won't use the normal straw. We will use the bubble tea straw. So we'll make two round one for the two bears. Okay. Then for the cat, it will be the same thing. Okay, let's make two round shape first. Once you have your two round, right, remember just now how we make the ears? We'll keep the sides to make it into a triangle. Then on the cat's body, okay, we'll create this a furry effect. So you put it in the center first. Using your toothpick, make them spread it out and make them sort of the rough surface. So it will look something like this. Yeah. So we'll do the same thing for the other cat. Have a triangle first. Put it over here. Spread it out. Yep. So it'll be like this. So for the rabbit, right, it will be the same thing, just that this time we will have a rectangular shape, sorry. So remember just now we actually have some dough. So I'll use my toothpick to press it down to give me a rectangular one. If you have a plastic knife, feel free to use them to cut it. Okay, so let's measure something around this length. So here is my rectangular. Put it in the middle. Same thing, I will give it the furry effect. Yeah, so it's this. Okay. Next, let's make the hands and the legs of these animals. So for the bears, we'll take a 1.5 gram. Okay, so for the legs, right, it will be 1 gram each. For the hands, it will be 1.5 gram each. So if you don't have 1.5, I'll take 3 grams and I'll divide into two. So let's weigh out the hands and the legs. Okay, for time constraint, I won't weigh them, so I'll roughly take them, but it's 1.5 for the hands and 1 gram for the legs. It's a little bit big. Okay, so let's do the legs first. The legs are easier to make. So same thing. It's like how you make the ear. Now it will be a round shape for the legs. So actually for all these measurements, right? If let's say you prefer your cookies to have a smaller hand or bigger hands, you can actually feel free to change the width of it. So like for example, like if you can see my my rabbit legs and the bear leg is actually very big difference. So it doesn't necessarily have to be 1 gram. Okay, so I have all the legs. Now I'll make the hands. So for the hands, right, same thing, make them into a round shape first. Then remember just now how we did the ears of the rabbit. So this time, right, instead of making it into a very long longitudinal shape, we just make one of the sides into smaller. So it will be something like a water droplet. It will be something like this. So all my hands and legs are done. So we'll stick it onto the main body. So for the legs, right, there's the round shape. Remember just now how we stick the ears is the same thing. For the legs, right, because we don't need it to be as round as the ear, so I'll usually press it flat against the body. So again. Okay, next will be the hand. Okay, so for the hand, right, how you will stick, it will look something like this. So we'll need to put egg whites on uh, one part of the dough. So I'll put like a strip over here. Then because if you don't stick them properly, right, they will fall out during baking. So when I put it, right, I'll actually use my toothpick to actually connect the top part. That is the most important one, to make sure it connects to the body. So it look like this. Again. So let's continue to make for the rest of the dough. Okay, so all their hands, legs are done. Next, we'll go into one of the more important part to make them cute, which is their features, which is the eyes, nose, and mouth. So usually the eyes, all this, I'll actually make it at the last one, because it's a black dough. If you do it first, right, it will tend to like make your hands a bit black. Then the rest of your dough might be slightly dirty already. Okay, so what we do, right? Okay, for the eyes, sorry. For the eyes, right? Remember, we actually have our mouthpiece. So we take our chopstick and indent 2 holes beside the mouth. So which will be like this. So I'll do it for the rest of it also. Then after that, we will fill it up with the black dough. Like this. Then for the nose, right, it will be similar, but just that this time don't indent it too much. So a slight touch on the center. So it will just be a very light hole. This. Okay. Next, let's take a small piece of dough. We'll have to fill all the indents with the dough. So for the eyes, right? So for the eyes, it will be the size of something like a rice grain. So how I'll do it, right? Usually I'll make them into a longitudinal shape. Then I'll use my toothpick to actually take out some of them. So it'll be something like this. So this will be 2 eyes. But of course, when you're rolling them, right, you feel that they're actually too big. You can actually resize them. Okay, I'll make 3 first. So let's take one dough, roll it into a round shape. Okay, like for example, this dough, right, I feel that it's too small, then I'll just take more dough. Ready. Okay, I'm gonna put some egg whites inside the indent part. You can just drop the round dough inside. So I'll continue to make another 2 pair of eyes. Yeah, so we have our eyes. Next, we'll make the nose. Okay, so for the bears, I'll make the pink color one. So it's something like this. This one is a bit small. Let's see. Yep. Then the pink color one, same thing. One of the tips on how to paste all these small little things, right, is you can make use of the toothpick to pick it up. If let's say if it doesn't stick to your toothpick, right, dip a little bit of the egg white on the toothpick, then you'll be able to pick it up like this. And you can stick it. Like this. If you see, you can see that there's something missing from the cats, which is the whiskers. So let's make the whiskers. Take a little bit of the white dough, roll it into a very thin strip. Something like this. So for each cat, right, I will have 2 whiskers on each side. So I'll take slightly, maybe let's say 0.5 cm length. Then two 0.5 cm and 2 slightly shorter one below. Then let's roll it out to smoothen the sides. Okay. Okay. So now, how do we differentiate between the male, the boy and the girl? So we'll give them some eyelashes for the girls. So the girls will be these two and this cat. Okay, but for the cat, right, I won't give them eyelashes because for the cats, right, their eyes are slightly sharpened on the sides, which later I will show you how to make them into cat eyes. First, let's make the it will be a really very thin strip of dough. So it will be actually very thin, something like this. Okay. So for each girl, right, I'll give them 2 eyelashes each on each side. So it will be slightly around 2 mm size. Oh, these are actually very small. So I don't have any tips on how to make all these small things, but just that I would say it takes a lot of time to practice lah. Once you get a hang of it, it should be quite easy for you. Okay. So now I have 4 eyelashes. I'll stick it onto the bear. So it'll look like this. So I'll just do the same thing for the rabbit. Yep. So it's like this. Okay. So for the cats, right, we'll give them a pointy eyes. So what we can do is from the black color one, let's take a small piece of dough each. Roll them into slightly pointy on one end. And at the side of the eyes. So it's like this. So again, 2 small pieces of dough, roll it into slightly pointy on one side. Yep. So this is it. Okay. So you all can stop it here, or we can actually give them some accessories. Okay. I think we have time for some accessories. Let's give it some ribbons and flowers. Okay. So for example, for my bear, I'll actually give it a flower. Okay. Let's give it a blue color flower. Okay. Let's just take 2 pieces of small dough, so roughly around this size. Roll it into a round shape. Then remember just now how we did all the hands. We'll roll it into slightly longitudinal shape. Same for the other side. Roll into slightly longitudinal shape. Okay, once you have this, right, take your toothpick at the tip part, press it down. Then use your 2 hands to take the toothpick out. So you will have this line in between. Let me show you again. So with this, right, take your toothpick, press it down at the side. Use your 2 hands to close it up. Pull out the toothpick. There you have your 2 bows for your ribbon. Okay, then let's put it together. Okay, you can actually slightly stick them together by pressing the center in between. Okay, if not, right, let's put some egg white at the bottom, the part where we will stick it to our bear, and just simply put it in. There you have your bowl, your ribbon, I mean, sorry. Okay, so this same technique, right, can be used to make the bowl of the guy's part. So if let's say if you want to make a bow over on the body, it's also okay. But for today, I will make them. So the next one, right, let's learn how to make some flowers for these two girls. Okay. So I'll take a pink color one. Okay, let's make the hairband part first. So we'll roll it into a longitudinal shape, something like how we did the whiskers. Okay, so I think roughly around this length will do. I'm giving it a hairband. Okay, so something like this. Okay, I'll take another color for the flower. Okay, so for the flowers, right, let's take four round small dough, roughly around the size of a green bean. So like this, one dough. Two, three, four. Okay, so for the four dough, same thing. Let's make it into a droplet shape, which is like this. Then this time around, right, let's press it down. So it will be a petal shape. Okay, you know, same thing for the others. Okay, I will actually connect them together. So it will be like this. Okay, so it will look something like this. Not to worry on sticking them together. So because right now we will stick them together. So using your toothpick, make a center in the hole. Make a hole in the center, sorry. Then take a small piece of other color to make the center of the flowers. So I'll take a pink color one. Put some egg white. Here we have our flower. So now we'll stick it onto the head of the rabbit. And for this, right, I'll use my toothpick to pick it up. There, we have our flower for the girl. Okay, okay. Let me show you again. I'll make the same thing for the cat. Let's take a purple color. This time I'll give you a smaller flower. Let's try to make something smaller. I'll give you 2 flowers. Same thing. The center of the flower. White. Stick it onto the cat. There. Okay, so if you want to make some accessories for the boys, is also okay. Like what I did previously is I'll make a hat for the cat. Let me show you how to make it. Okay, let's take a black color. Let's give it a black color hat. Okay, so let's take a round, a small little dough. Make it into a round shape. Then make it into a water droplet shape also. There will be something like this. Then for the tip of the head, let's use the toothpick to make a small little hole. Put some egg white in. Another piece of small little black dough. Make it into a small round shape. Put it on top. Okay. And for the head, brush some egg white. Yep. So that is it. Then the last one will make the tail for all of them. So for the cat, right, it will be a longitudinal shape. Okay. So same thing like just now, how we connect the ear, because it's two small surface area. We will actually indent a hole at the side of the cat. That will be where the tail will fit in. Put some wet wash. Same thing for the other cat. Then for the rabbit, I'll make a round shape, small little bunny here. Two.
Actually, in the meantime, do you want to answer some questions from the participants?
What are the questions? Can you help me read it out?
Yeah, okay, so the first question is for the dough itself. Is it possible to keep for later use? So like, can you put it in a freezer or chiller?
Yeah, okay, for my dough, right? Actually, I made it last night. So you can actually make it previous prior to this, then put it in a airtight container and put it in the fridge will do. Then before you want to ship them, right, take it out for maybe like around 30 minutes to let it soften a bit.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
then the second question is, okay, I believe this participant wants to try the dough after the session. She asked, will the dough change in consistency over time? Like will it become softer and softer?
Actually no, but it will just become more oily. Like for example, like I don't know if you can see my hand. It's actually becoming a bit like shiny. Yeah. So if you leave the dough too long outside, right, the dough will actually start to become a little bit oily. But that doesn't change the consistency, everything. So it's still okay. It's just that you will feel slightly oily when you are doing them lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. You can continue first.
So basically, these are how you can shape all your cookies. So all these, right, apart from cookies, right, if as long as the dough are manageable, like something that you can actually shape into round shape or etc. Right, like for example, dango dough or maybe bread or maybe pizza, etc. You can actually use the same technique. Then you can get the same shape in other kinds of bakes. Yeah. So with that, I have actually finished my demonstration. Is there any other questions?
Yeah, there's one last question. So for the coloring, can you use like other things? So like for example, like powder like charcoal and matcha to color your dough?
Yeah, I can. So like for my black dough, right, it's actually made using charcoal powder.
Oh,
But
okay.
for the rest of it, I actually use food coloring lah. But if you want to use like matcha dough, all this, it's also okay. It's just that just to make sure that if let's say the dough turns a bit hard, right, you can actually add some milk to it.
Oh, okay. So add
The
milk.
powder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the last question. So just to confirm, the baking time is 15 to 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, 15 to 20. Okay, so
Okay.
15 to 20 minutes, right? It's actually a rough gauge. So for example, if your dough is slightly thicker or you have more layers on top, right, try to bake it slightly longer, because if not, right, it will be cooked at the outer layer, but inside it may still be raw. So for example, if let's say you have cooked your dough is like 2 to 3 layers, then you have cook it for 15 minutes, right? Maybe give it slightly a more like 5 to 10 more minutes. And if your dough starts to turn slightly brown at the tip, at the edges, right, you can cover it with a piece of aluminum foil and continue to bake them. Yeah.
Okay. Then the
Can we
temperature.
use?
Oh, sorry, you
Can we
can.
use?
Sorry?
Oh yeah, you can go ahead with a
Can we
question.
use Milo powder to make?
I have never tried to use Milo powder before, but you can try and let me know if it works.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so what temperature is it? It's 170 degrees. Preheated.
Okay. Do we have any other questions from the participants? Okay, I believe that will be all for today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
thank you so much for joining me. So if you all have any questions, you can let me know. I'm more than happy to answer it even after the session.
Yeah, actually in the meantime, I can also drop her Instagram so you can follow her and see more of her food art as well. And this is YoRipe's one as well, just in case I haven't followed. Oh, the video clips wise, yeah, that one I have to check later because I had some connection issues just now. But yeah, I think there should be recordings. Yeah. Okay.
So how we see from the recording?
As in, I will send in a Google Drive most likely because this is a Zoom recording, so I cannot send directly. It will be too big of a file. Yeah. So I'll send a Google Drive link.
Google Drive, that means we go where to see.
As in, I will send it in the group. You can just click the link and it open and you can watch
I
already.
see.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, the temperature is 170 degrees. Yeah, it was mentioned just now. Okay,
If you refer to the recipe, it's also inside lah.
Yeah, I can send
Thank
the
you so much.
yeah. Thank you everyone. Okay, hope to see you all soon.
Yeah, have a great weekend. See you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.